Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for spending some of your time with us. My name is Tina Rosenquist, and this is Knowledge for Wellness. And this show is to better inform you, because the more information you have, the better decisions you can make. And today I am delighted to present Cassie Wellness from Weight and Wellness, and you are located in 3 different locations. Welcome,
Yes,
Cassie.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here today.
Yes, and you are a registered dietitian?
Right, I'm a registered dietitian. I see clients on a one-on-one consult basis at our Wayzata office, but we also have an office in St. Paul and White Bear Lake.
Okay, great. And so we basically, this segment, now Cassie has been on a couple of times, so we were lucky enough to pick her brain and get to benefit our viewers with some really great information and some better choices for food, for nutrients. So this time we're basically going to talk about sleep. And also we have a lot of people that have sleep issues, and of course, you know, sleep deprivation of course, is a kind of a snowball effect. Once we get that, then it seems to, our health seems to deteriorate more and more. We always reach for that refined sugar type of thing. So I would like you to share with our viewers a little bit more about, you know, getting better sleep and nutrition involved with sleeping. So.
Yeah, nutrition absolutely can play a role in whether or not you're getting a good night's sleep. The statistics actually are that 1 in 3 people suffer from insomnia.
Oh, wow.
Whether it's on a regular basis or periodically. That's a lot of people in this country not getting enough sleep. And I think it is on an annual basis that 10 million sleep prescriptions for sleep aids get prescribed.
Oh.
You know, and that's not taking care of the problem. That's making you really drowsy probably for the next day, but you know, there's always side effects with any prescription drug that you're taking. So we like to take the most natural approach and go with food first.
Well, not only a natural approach, you know, because this can go on and on and on, and it can evolve into something worse. Right. And so let's just nip this one right away, and let's go back to the way it used to be, you know, with foods that can benefit us and also our sleep pattern. Right. I mean, you have to think on my great-great-great-grandpa, you know, back in the day, we did not have prescription drugs for, you know, everything. So foods were always, you know, how we came up with penicillin, you know, all of these natural things through food. Right. So we can embellish a little bit about, you know, some nutrients with our viewers. So
absolutely, and also you know, you mentioned that it can lead to other problems and snowball, and I think that's an important concept too for viewers to really grasp their head around or wrap their head around. That, you know, in the short term, when we talk about a lack of sleep, if it's going on for a week or two, you're probably going to have more cravings because of the way that it affects your hormone balance. You're probably going to be more irritable, and us that have been moms or our moms can all attest to that. When you're lacking sleep, you're more irritable. Memory loss. That a lot of times is in part related to not enough sleep. Or sometimes I have clients describe it as they're experiencing brain fog.
Oh, sure.
That could be in
or they call it the senior moment. You know, things like that.
When they're 27, you're 35. That's not really a senior moment, but you're right, they use that term. So in the short term, you can have problems because of a lack of sleep, but then think about the long term. I mean, there's good research showing that obesity is linked to a chronic lack of sleep. Certainly car accidents. A lot of car accidents happen each year because somebody falls asleep at the wheel.
Sure.
We have to make sleep a priority. Cancer is another thing that actually has been linked to long-term sleep deprivation.
Wow.
And that goes back to the fact we talked about on an earlier segment that not enough sleep suppresses your immune system. And there is a link between chronic suppression of your immune system and higher risk of cancer because you just don't have that ability to fight.
Right, because actually the body is repairing itself while it sleeps. And I really wish that people would realize that that's a natural thing, and it's also the most beneficial in regards to getting sleep. And we need a lot more rest than we give ourselves credit for, you know.
Isn't it something in this country, you never hear somebody bragging about how much sleep they get a night, but if they're only getting 5 or 6 hours, then we feel like that's something we should brag about.
Right.
Because, I don't know, you look more productive. But that's not the way to go. You're going to pay in the end with poor health down the road.
Or not even living to the ripe old age of 80-something.
Right.
Yes.
So for adults, 8 to 9 hours is really important to strive for that. And kids, I mean, it kind of depends on their age. My kids are preschoolers, so it's 11 or 12 hours that they need total in a 24-hour period. Adolescents, probably somewhere around 10 hours every night. So you need to really make sleep a priority.
Right. Well, let's talk a little bit about, you know, when you do get a good night's sleep, and then, of course, the energy that you need for the next morning. So we can go ahead and talk a little bit about, you know, our routine of eating in the morning when we get up. Of course, we all have cereal. It's, you know, easy, it's fast. But then again, you know, we all sit in front of that TV at night too, and we want that midnight snack. And, you know, a lot of us have chips or popcorn, things like that to kind of wind us down a little bit before.
Ice cream.
Yes, you know. So and I know my husband does this a lot. He just gets hungry, so he goes and he grabs his box of Cheerios in the morning and he munches on that because he doesn't want to go to bed with a empty stomach.
And probably thinks he's doing a good thing because Cheerios are certainly marketed as being healthy.
Very much so.
Yeah, you know, all of those things you mentioned are very common bedtime snacks. The popcorn, the cold cereal at night, the ice cream, the potato chips. But think about this, if you're munching on a cold cereal, whether it's Cheerios or any type of cereal in a box, it's turning to a lot of sugar almost immediately in your system. So for example, I poured out about 2 cups of this and then figured out how much sugar it turns into in your system.
Oh.
Because 2 cups is probably at the minimum what your husband is grabbing when he's grabbing a snack. 20 teaspoons of sugar in your body. You know, think of just spooning that down your throat at bedtime. That's going to rev your body up. And even if you don't necessarily feel like you're bouncing off the walls on the inside, when you go lay your head on the pillow then after a bedtime snack like that, you're revved up on the inside and you're probably going to have a hard time falling asleep.
Okay.
And then when you finally do fall asleep, because you've now put yourself on that roller coaster of blood sugars, you spike, and then you plummet, and then you spike, and then you plummet, you don't have a restful night's sleep for most people either with a bedtime snack such as that. Same with the chips. Chips are made from potatoes. I think most people realize those white potatoes turn to sugar pretty fast in your body. One small bag like this turns to 6 teaspoons of sugar. And if that's all you're doing is the chips, you're not giving yourself anything to balance out or level off those blood sugars. Popcorn, same thing.
Oh, really?
Yes,
oh my
you know,
gosh.
I used to think that popcorn was such a healthy bedtime snack. You're getting the fiber in, you know, there's no fat in it. And come to find out, reading the research, it's one of the worst things for your blood sugar.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So if you're somebody that has trouble sleeping at night, I would say that's the first thing you should change is stop doing popcorn at night and go for some more balanced bedtime snacks. And you might be surprised how much of a difference that makes in your rest at night.
Sure. Do you have any recommendations on that?
Yes. Oh, some of the things that I love, one of my favorites is to take an apple, slice it up, and just spread some real peanut butter on each slice. And my kids love this too. So this is a fun treat for the whole family. And there you have a carbohydrate and a fat. And when you think about the combination of those 2 food categories, carbohydrates, whether it's an apple or chips, are going to spike your blood sugar.
Okay.
And we need some of that. But then we add a healthy fat, like real peanut butter. And fat all by itself, if you sat down and just ate peanut butter or just ate a stick of butter, blood sugar stays even keel, no change.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So when you combine the carbohydrate that drives your blood sugars up with the fat that keeps them stable, the average of that gives you that balanced blood sugar all through the night.
Okay.
So most people find they fall asleep better and they have a more restful night's sleep because they're balanced all night long.
Okay.
Another one would be to have some grapes. If you want to add an animal protein in, some string cheese.
Okay.
And then a healthy fat could be some olives. And closer to you over there, Tina, we have a snack that you've talked about before with your kids, the yogurt, and I added some fruit to sweeten the yogurt, and then you could have a handful of almonds on the side.
Almonds, mixed nuts, peanuts, kind of?
You know, pretty much any type of nut is going to work to balance your blood sugars. I do encourage people to choose either plain dry roasted, or even a better choice would be the raw, as I have there, because when you're getting